Not all tech employees can work from home. Hi, everybody. Karen Roby here for ZDNet with Daphne Leprince-Ringuet, talking about specifically data centers and the workers there have to go in to get the job done. Daphne, just not something they can do from home.
Yeah, as you said, Karen, the data centers are still buildings that need to be operated and maintained to keep running. People don't necessarily realize what's going on inside a data center. They tend to think they're big industrial warehouses with servers and not that many people. But actually, not only do they need people to maintain them, but these people cannot just shut down the data center and stop because they are sort of the physical embodiment of our digital world. So every time we carry out a digital connection, every time we stream a Netflix film, every time we perform a bank transaction, it all goes to a data center. So data centers are crucial for the digital economy. They're crucial, especially now as everyone gets online and starts working remotely, but they still need engineers to go in every day to look after them. And those engineers have just been recognized as crucial workers. Data centers have started being recognized as critical national infrastructure, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't come without challenges to go into these centers every day and work as an engineer while still respecting social distancing guidelines and being safe. There's also the added problem of the mental difficulty of having to go to work knowing that you could get ill. So all these challenges are all sort of coming together right now, and they're not necessarily known by the wider public, but they're still very important in order to keep the digital world running.
Yeah, and so important here, and Daphne, coping, I would think, with some of the difficulties of, as you mentioned, the mental toll of knowing you're having to go into a building and you're working so close with others. And the people that you talked to for your interviews for this story, how did you find that these employees are coping with this?
So, from an operational perspective, they seem to be fairly confident that things will be all right for the near-term future. Sorry, mostly because data centers are a very risk-averse sector, generally speaking. So they've been preparing for this really ahead of governments, months ahead of governments in some cases. Here in the UK, it started in January when they started hearing about coronavirus in China. They already were ordering PPE and hand sanitizers. They were already segregating shifts, which is sort of a precursor to social distancing. So by the time that government were actually implementing these measures, they had already prepared, they had already adapted, and they had already made sure that they would be able to carry out these operations. So the degree of confidence across the sector is rather high. That's not to say that there aren't any challenges, but operators seem rather confident that they will be able to keep operating data centers in a rather normal way for the time being.
All right, and then, as far as looking ahead, Daphne, what the future will look like if this continues on. Any word there?
Yeah, of course, the number one worry for data center operators is that their staff would get ill because it obviously requires highly skilled engineers to go into those centers and operate them. So if their staff gets ill, that sort of compromises the operation of the whole center. There's also issues with supply chains because components in data centers come from various different areas, sometimes high risk areas. So there might be delays there, which might affect the way that the center operates. And then thinking even longer term, there's the issue of construction. As we consume more data, as we use online services more, there will be a need for more capabilities. We will need to build more data centers as the world gets more and more online, but it's not sure how long construction sites will be allowed to stay open or how long they will be safe. So various different challenges still waiting for data center operators, and it's still something that remains to be seen how they cope with them exactly.
All right, a lot of uncertainties right now. Of course, Daphne, all around for all of us and each industry, how they will deal with things as this continues. So we appreciate your information on this and certainly have that article up there on ZDNet. And we hope you guys will all check it out. Thanks so much for watching today.